Brawl Stars players are improving every single day. Historic organizations, world champions, and mechanical wizards are still at the top. But today, I want to discuss a team taking over Brawl Stars. There's no doubt that Tribe Gaming are the best team in North America, but with Brawl Cup, the mid-season $50,000 international in-person tournament coming very soon, it begs the question of how the best teams across the globe will stack up against each other. There's a general consensus for the top 4 entering the event. EMEA's #1 seed SK Gaming, East Asia's #1 seed Zeta Division, defending world champion Humble, and North America's #1 seed Tribe Gaming are the headliners of the event. Many Brawl fans are split on who to pick entering the tournament, which means it's likely going to be a spectacular showing. But Tribe Gaming have gotten a ton of deserved hype based on how dominant they've been in the 2025 season. But is a dominant showing in North America really enough to prove they're capable of taking on the best in the world and being a world championship contender? Let's start with what the DNA of a championship team looks like. In 2021, Brawl Stars Esports introduced the modern monthly final system. Tons of teams from every region will compete in their monthly qualifiers, and the top 8 teams from each region out of the monthly qualifiers compete in a single bracket known as the monthly finals. The teams that accumulate the most points throughout all of the monthly qualifiers and finals in their region make it to the postseason. Since 2021, every world champion has qualified for the entire season's monthly finals. This is a tough trend for fan favorites like Team Heretics and Reply Totem, who missed a month this season. Second, the lowest seed to win a world championship since the modern monthly finals were introduced was #2 seed Zeta Division 0 back in 2022. Honestly, this was a special case since the #1 seed was Zeta Division 1, who got second in the world finals, and the two teams were clearly in a tier of their own. Outside of this, the world champion has been a #1 seed from their region in those past 4 years. Finally, every world champion has won a monthly finals. Humble, 2024's world champion, won 1 monthly final and still had a fantastic run at Worlds, but every other champ has had at least 3 monthly final wins. Tribe Gaming have met all of these criteria by winning all 3 of the monthly finals to start the year, and they're the only team in the world to do so. They've been mostly unfazed in the first half of the 2025 season. In the monthly finals, Tribe have a whopping 27-7 set record, including 3 sweeps. The only match they had go to the distance of 5 sets was in March's quarterfinals against Eternal Esports, NA's #10 seed. The teams in the Brawl Cup that meet these 3 criteria are Tribe Gaming, Zeta Division, SK Gaming, Loud, and Revenant X-Spark. Tribe Gaming, composed of Luffy, Zeus, RBM, and Killer, also have a strong history in North America. In 2024, Tribe Gaming's current roster was with Elevate. They won the last monthly final in 2024 to clinch the #1 seed in North America, meaning they've won 4 in a row dating back to last season. While Tribe have been a force to be reckoned with in 2025, there are many raising concerns that NA isn't quite what it used to be and isn't the same level of competition that we've seen in past years. In 2024, there were 3 different monthly finals champions through the first 3 months, including the current Tribe roster. Now, Tribe have run away with the region. Is it because Tribe Gaming are that good, or is it because North America's off to a slower start? Additionally, there has never been a world champion from North America, with the closest being STMN in 2023, who got 2nd place. This will be Tribe Gaming's 2nd major in-person event as a team. Their first was the 2024 World Finals. Tribe Gaming were in Group A, where they faced SK Gaming, the #3 seed in EMEA, and Foot, the #2 seed in South America. They opened with a 1-2 loss to SK and closed the group with a 2-1 victory over Foot. With a 2nd place finish for Group A, they were seeded to face Crazy Raccoon in what would be one of the most intense matches of 2024.
Tensai now approaching with the super, can get some synergy here with Moya, might need to use it. Super in, pops it on himself. Luffy with a cycled super and slices, dices, decimates Tensai. Elevate are persisting in spite of a match point.
95% and counting. A set 5 looming. Here comes Crazy Raccoon. They clear them off at 98. Luffy knows he just needs to stand here, and he does! We're going all the way! Our map control gets pretty critical here. That's why the Kenji goes aggressive. Luffy deep. Chitapo able to use the super to avoid the damage, though, when RBM plays back. That's the gem that starts the countdown. RBM hooks Tensai. What a connection! But Zeus goes down with the gems! Luffy's got to come forward now, but it's a countdown. 10 seconds left, but RBM is felled by the surge. Luffy's got to go in, but there is no shot, no hope. And Crazy Raccoon will take the first game.
Moya's got to get 4 more gems here. He's going to go for it all the way to the back right. RBM's just out of range. Zeus trying to defend, and the hypercharge and super available for the Gene over here. Another pull. Moya at mid. He's going to have to defend Luffy. Manages to pick up the gem, but all of them spill onto the ground. Luffy with a 2-piece, and Elevator running it back.
The zoning is too good for Elevate. Crazy Raccoon will have to let this one go to double match points.
Assistance required on the right side. RBM's gonna need some help with Tensai over here. We'll see Luffy charge forward. CJ Tampo now with a hypercharge. Big damage on his Zeus and onto Luffy. But Elevate all
Catch
gravitate towards this right side.
Oh,
Tinside going for
dear.
the big play. Zeus towards the skies. RBM left all alone. A little more damage on Amoya. Citampo looking for gem number 10. Luffy's got to contest.
He can't. Citampo back over the wall. Okay, countdown secured now. Elevate, lose their gems. Luffy trying to go deep here, but Tensai ignores him as Moya throws down. And Crazy Raccoon, the kings that once were, will return to a world semi-finals to claim what was once theirs.
After losing on double match point, Elevate were eliminated in the quarterfinals with a 1-2 match result at their first LAN event as a team. As somebody who covered the 2024 World Finals, Elevate, now Tribe, definitely passed the eye test for me. Tribe's 2 losses were against teams I thought very highly of. I was a big believer in SK Gaming in 2024, who ended up getting top 4, and even predicted SK to make the grand finals at the time. Tribe's double match point loss to second place Crazy Raccoon proved to me they could take on anybody, and I believe they've shown no signs of slowing down with their mechanics. On top of their skill on the field, a major reason Tribe have stood out in 2025 is how well they're drafting. Not only do they have a fantastic understanding and execution for every meta, but they even find innovative ways to use brawlers lower on pro tier lists. Let's look at these unique drafts on their run to winning their third and most recent monthly final of the year. In their 3-0 victory over SSG in the semifinals, the match began on open zone. SSG selected Lou first overall, which is not a bad brawler on the map, but I do have some concerns since it's the first overall pick. Now Tribe Gaming can kind of stray away from tanks and go for range. Tribe selected Chester, who I believe was one of the safer and better choices for the meta, and they also paired it with Bo, somebody they loved on that map. Chester could now charge his hypercharge faster due to Bo's totem, and the pairing together was a really good coverage against a possible Gray plus tank option. Pros have frequently utilized Gray's teleport alongside tanks. They pair these beefier, slower brawlers that are more heavy hitting to get more objective points in the hot zone. The more time they're spending in the hot zone, the less time they are spending walking all the way around just to try and get up there. Bo, however, can lay 2 sets of mine downs on either the hot zone or on a potential teleport, and Chester as an anti-tank brawler is going to be awesome at addressing those possible concerns. At the 4-5 turn, SSG select Finks and Draco, and on the other end at pick 6, Tribe Gaming match with Gale, a very unpopular brawler in the pro meta. However, this is now a nightmare for Draco. Draco is a good brawler, but into Gale, who slows him down, an anti-tank in Chester, and Bo, who outranges him, it's going to be so difficult to get any value out of him. While Gale is not great, Tribe scrimmed him on this map a ton leading to the tournament. He can't work in every draft, but given Draco on the other side and the limited range from SSG's comp, Gale can slide into the draft as an anti-tank, control brawler, and a way to get teammates quickly into the middle of the map. This creative pick helped Tribe sweep the set. Later in the day, Tribe made another unique selection on set 3 of the grand finals. Tribe have Chester and are staring down Max and Jackie on Super Beach. Thrower is definitely a thought here, but instead of going the typical Juju, they go with Willow. In their post-game interview, they actually addressed that Willow was something they had practiced before. This wasn't just a random thought that occurred in their head. It's something they planned and scrimmed. Willow actually makes a lot of sense given the draft. Currently, Tribe are staring down a Max and Jackie. This is a composition that wants to be aggressive. They're going to take advantage of the Max speed, and they're going to run it down with Jackie, and they're going to try and get up in the faces of these enemy brawlers. Now that's a lot more difficult because Willow's biggest perk is the fact that she can mind control the enemy. She can literally take over an aggressive Jackie, an aggressive Max, back them off, gain space for the team, and more importantly, since it's Brawl Ball, they now have an extra goal scoring mechanic. It's going to be easier for Willow to get that super because these brawlers are just going to be beelining it right at her, and when they do, she can pop a super, have them turn it right on around, and either score a goal for them or damage other enemies. Gale and Willow were only selected a handful of times globally in the past 3 months of the BSC. The fact that they were used successfully goes to show the level of understanding and skill Tribe Gaming have in the draft stage. It's really hard to prep against Tribe Gaming because they have such a wide variety in the brawler pool. Just when you think you've solved the map's meta, Tribe will hit you with something completely different like these brawler picks we just saw. You have to be ready for anything when playing against them. Ultimately, I think Tribe Gaming have one of the highest ceilings in the BSC. The roster has proven to be best in the region so far with their incredible mechanics in drafting. It's hard to pick apart their resume in 2025. The only question left is if they can improve off their previous LAN performances and continue to be not just the best in their region, but the best in the world. I can't wait to see how they match up against all the incredible teams across the globe. Thanks for watching, and let me know down below if you're going to predict Tribe Gaming to win the Brawl Cup or if you've got your eyes set on another team. Be sure to subscribe if you find yourself coming back on the regular, and with that being said, we will see you all in the next one.